Yo, what is good in the hood? Welcome to Gameplay, the eSports show that keeps you in the know of all things high school and university eSports in South Africa. Yeah, but yes, you know what it is. It's your hostess that does the mostest, Colin Manyame, aka Scorer in the eSports streets. And once again, sticking to the theme of Feb, staying dripped out in pink, the month of love, gotta stay dressed for the occasion. But today we're touching ASL standard procedure and we peep how the numbers are looking going into 2025, the upcoming Kuro Ndaba as well, because Vele, you know, I like my Ndabas and I gotta keep to all that news. But further from that, we also have our celebrity guest interview later on with pro Street Fighter player, and I'm very excited for that one. So without any further ado, Aziz. Jumping right into things, let's catch up with the ASL space. I realize I don't shout y'all out enough, and that's my bad, homies. So this is a massive shout out to all the schools that heeded my call and signed up for ASL. The ASL leagues have massive signups, and teams participating this year, mainly in Fortnite, Rocket League, and Valorant, seen a massive surge. In Fortnite, we saw a total of 510 participants signed up for Term 1 last year, with this year's numbers sitting at 534. So that's a total of 6 lobbies that we're looking at coming into Fortnite for this year. Further from that, on the side of Valorant, we saw a total of 90 participants signed up for last year, with 2025 reaching a total of 115, which means that's a total of 23 teams in total for Valorant alone. And by far, the most improved title with regards to numbers this year, Rocket League, from 117 participants last year, shooting up to 171 this year, and splitting that into teams, we're sitting at 57 teams. So all in all, 2024, we began with a total of 956 participants across all schools, whereas this year, we're kicking it off with a total of 1,123 participants, y'all. I don't know what to tell you, man. 2025 is looking absolutely amazing, and it is going to be nothing short of exciting. Further from that, the Kuro Ndaba is fast approaching, and this is the call to teachers and coaches from schools that haven't already got involved to get involved in this year's Ndaba. Don't miss out, folks. And you may be sat there asking, what is the Kuro Ndaba and what exactly goes on at said event? Well, to get an understanding of it, let's take a look at the highlights from last year's Ndaba to help get a better understanding of what exactly the Kuro Ndaba is.
We're at the eSports Ndaba that's situated in Potch today to basically coach the coaches and to reignite that passion and to show them what eSports can be.
It's very exciting to me to see so many people that came through and wanted to learn about gaming. It's great to see a variety of complete newbies to professionals that clearly are gaming in their spare time at home. What's also really great is having ACGL here, which is obviously a fantastic brand to have as a backbone, making sure that everything is set up just right and have the top-notch availability of eSports equipment from Acer and Predator.
From last year, which was our first Ndaba, we only had about 50 coaches participate, where this year that number has doubled. And we've also seen the coaches adopting eSports and all the strategy a lot more, and they are hungry for more information, and I think that's the reason why we've seen a doubling in numbers.
With this Ndaba this year, I've definitely learned so much from everybody here. It's really an amazing opportunity for coaches, teachers, anybody that's interested in eSport.
No matter what your level of expertise are, there's a noob line, if you want to call it that, and there's your intermediate one, and there's your pro one. So it's definitely something for everybody.
We started out our journey with Kuro 2 years ago, launching and supporting the eSports program, where we had to work with them and advise them and provide them with support. They're now standing on their own 2 feet in a very, very strong way, and it was an absolute honor to have gone through that.
I love the Ndaba. I think the Ndaba is just there's an energy about this Indaba, and I think it comes from the Kuro staff generally, from the organisers to the attending teachers, but there's such a powerful energy here that I don't get from other events around the world. Even the massive events like ISTE and BET in London and so on, there's something about this Indaba that is truly unique in its creative energy, and I love that. I thrive here on that.
Yes, I'm always hounding the students to get involved, but now teachers and coaches, it's your turn. Get involved with the Indaba, learn more about esports, its prospects, and how to continue to grow your schools in the right direction. I mean, it just benefits all of us at the end of the day, right? So, it's time for a session in the classroom, and this week, our pro tip comes from our pro player that will be coming onto the show as my guest later on. He breaks down the best ways to pick your characters coming into Street Fighter if you're very new to the game. So, let's take a look.
What's up everybody, JaPM here, fighting game player for Goliath Gaming. If you're still new to Street Fighter 6, I'm about to give the rundown on which character should you play. I'm not big on telling people to play top tiers, I like prioritizing fun. So I always advise people to play all the characters and find out which character did they have the most fun with. Then we'll find out what kind of a player you are. Then we can jump on the kind of characters you should play. Now, we have different character archetypes in Street Fighter 6, or Street Fighter in general. We have the grapplers. Lily is a grappler, brawler, but we'll just put her under grappler because she has a command grab. Command grab can't be blocked. You have to jump, backdash, and those are your defensive options against it. You have to basically guess that if the opponent's going to do it. So you have Lily, you have Manon, who are grapplers, and then you have Street Fighter 2 Zhang. He's also a grappler. He's probably the most popular one. Then we have our defensive archetype, which is Zona. We have JP. This guy's got style.
Shall we begin then?
Sophisticated. This guy likes to keep you away with fireballs, make you frustrated because you can't get in, and then you start making mistakes and jumping in at the wrong time. You know, and doing just silly things that will make him get the win quicker. Which another prime example is Dawson. Think of Luffy from One Piece. You know, with the long limbs, he likes to hit you from school screen away and basically do what JP does. Instead, he doesn't do it with fireball, he does it with his hands, feet, you know. He does have a fireball, but not really his best tool. Then we have what everybody hates, the rushdown. This guy right here is fast. You know, I'm trying to hold myself, I'm swearing. He's public enemy number 1, but he's also got style. That much you gotta give it to him, you know, this guy's got style. And then we have Ken Masters. This guy is on the verge of being called broken, you know, because once this guy is in, he definitely stays in. And we also have M. Bison, who I think should be deleted from the game. Rashid is very good, you know, especially when he has his level 2 locked and loaded. He basically pushes you to a corner, you know, without doing much. Once he activates that, you go into the corner. Most popular character in the game, Akuma. Very good rushdown, probably the best in the game, but has the least health. Then we have our rushdown with mixer. So Kimberly is a character that's very tricky. Once she has you in the corner, you have to guess a lot. You know, she's got a lot of mix-ups, up, down, left, right. You have to guess on which way you're blocking. You have those kind of archetypes. So understand how you want to play. Are you the annoying kind of guy? Are you the rushdown? Do you like mix-ups? Do you like to play command grabs? Let me know. I hope this tutorial helps.
So talking about gaming opportunities this week, unfortunately, there aren't any opportunity to share this week, so you have to check in with me next week. I know, I'm sorry, don't want to hear the boos, but Universities, remember, I did say keep your eyes glued to the screens because I do have something for you through. So make sure you are checking in next week. So I have something coming up for you. Don't miss out and stay tuned. Yeah, you see the controller on the couch? You know that time. Time for Game Chat with my celebrity guest. He is the best Street Fighter player in South Africa and heading to Tokyo for the Capcom Cup Finals to represent as the sole African rep. So stick around because our chat's coming up next. What is happening, folks? Welcome back to the show, and now it's time for my celebrity guest interview. Today, I am joined by pro Street Fighter player, the best in the land, Jabi Mabuza, aka Jabi M. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm pretty good, and how are you?
I am fantastic. I don't think people understand how excited I am because you were basically the person that kicked off this show last season, and now you're back again. I mean, it would have been a bit poetic to do it again in the first episode, but obviously I couldn't do that. But I'm really excited, man. But a lot has happened since then, a lot of, new changes, developments, but also some winning has been happening. So last year, you won the World Warrior 2024 South African Championship and you secured your spot in the Capcom Cup Finals, which is happening next month in Tokyo. Please run me through this moment and what it means to you.
Well, it's actually a lot because when I started the season, obviously we started with the Repo, qualifiers for Repo Kumite.
Yeah.
And during that time, I was having a character crisis. And I was just picking whatever to get the job done. And I was getting the job done.
Yeah.
But there came a moment where it's just like things were not working. And the thing is, if you don't specialize with the character, there's certain things that you just go over your head. So it was like a journey of finally finding what works for you. And during the time, the season kicks off for the Capcom Pro Tour. Because the World Warrior, how it works is you play 5 tournaments throughout the year.
Yeah.
Top 8 goes into the regional finals,
And quick question on that. How accessible are these types of tournaments, especially when you look at it locally?
Yeah, I mean, anybody can access it. If you just have a PS4, PS5 PC, and you have Street Fighter the game, it's easy. Anybody can register. It's region locked between 10 countries, from the Southern Hemisphere, which is South Africa, Zimbabwe, Kenya, and Zambia. All these countries were all put into one group, and you had to make it out. And I'm struggling, and then I'm struggling. I'm really struggling because I'm playing characters I'm getting the job done, but I'm losing to guys who, I was losing to guys from Madagascar and so forth. And then my character finally got released, Terry. And then when I finally, because this is a character that I've been playing since I was a kid from the arcade, and they brought in, he's not even a Street Fighter character, he's someone from a different game, but they brought him on as a guest character, and immediately I clicked, and it was like a return to form.
Just worked.
I just stopped, I stopped having a hard time. It's like I was winning, but the winning was a struggle, Then finally the character clicked, went into the regional finals. I was very confident, because now everything, it's like the strings are just
everything's attached.
Yeah.
And now look at you, you're heading to Tokyo to represent. And I mean, how does that feel to once again be representing South Africa? But not just South Africa, you're representing Africa as a whole because you're the only representative going over there. How does that feel at this point in time?
I don't want to say the thing is, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, but it does feel amazing to see your country flag there, amongst every other country that's there, because it's like a lot of them, But the big thing is obviously you want to show. Last 2023, I had the big moment where I beat one of the best in the world in Tokyo in South Africa, and the whole crowd erupted. So I'd really like to win it now, because then the whole country the whole continent will erupt. So I definitely want that moment, but I don't want to put too much pressure on myself that when I'm on stage, I'll crack. You see. So it's like a thought that said okay, I'm proud of this moment, but it's not going to be the be all end all. I got a new goal. I need to focus on that.
Fantastic. So speaking on focus, when you look at the Street Fighter scene, what is it that you see that you'd like to see happening more? Would you like to see more involvement from locals, more involvement from brands? What would you like to be seeing? Because especially with how we are at this point in time, obviously eSports has its surge that's happening and there's a lot of involvement, a lot of people coming in. Is it that you want to start seeing more people starting to get involved in these events so you can start seeing more South Africans heading to these events?
Yeah, I mean, first things first, you obviously got to build our own scene in terms of our strength, because our scene is not really that strong. If you're a player in SA, you probably have to work 3 times as hard as any other player who's overseas, because of the accessibility. So what we could have done as a community is probably get together a lot more often, and that's how we would probably build our skill level. But we're so secluded now that everybody's trying to high tech, and save it for the tournament and stuff. So when the new guys, even when they come on, they get wrecked and they don't know what they're doing wrong. And it's very hard because it's like only a few guys are like, will go grab the new guy aside and be like, hey, you're doing this wrong. The other guys just want to keep it to themselves, So we probably need to just come together in our hopes of building our community into what they call high-level play.
Yeah.
When you start doing that, the minute one travels, you automatically know he's going to do well. You can look at the bracket and say, okay, this guy plays this character. The guy in PE plays this character, so he should be okay. You look at the next one, he's like, okay, the guy in Cape Town plays this, so you can practice with him. So it makes it a lot easier for whoever's traveling. And I'll give an example. Mark the Shark, he's traveling to France. His first opponent is a character I play, so I don't expect him to lose because we play a lot.
Yeah.
Same thing if I get drawn with somebody that Mark plays, it's a lot easier for me to go up against the best now because I've already got someone who I play a lot and we elevating each other.
So that's amazing. So what I'm actually just gonna say is, if you're watching this right now, especially Street Fighter guys, there's a lot of youngsters and students that are coming up that are watching you guys. I want to be seeing y'all at least coaching, teaching these kids, because they are the future as well. So all the students, all the university students coming up, y'all need to be getting involved and connecting with community. But moving on from that, so you finished high school, you've got your diploma, you've got a full-time job, but you're also basically being the best Street Fighter Pro player in the country. How do you manage all of that? And how important is it to manage not only competing, but your studies as well?
As I said, first thing you need to know where you are. If you're in SA, you can't just rely on being a gamer. Unfortunately, that's just the truth of the matter, is you have to have something to have as a backup just in case things don't go right.
Yeah.
And then you need to find the balance, So I don't play, people think that I play 8 hours a day, I go for quality over quantity,
How much do you play actually in a day?
Probably like 1, 2 hours, 3 hours.
You serious?
I'm not joking.
Okay.
Like I don't play for that long,
So it's really quality over quantity.
Yeah, it's just what you do in those moments, Okay, cool. I'll give you an example. I think this is the best example that I use whenever I explain these kind of things. You're playing FIFA. Somebody steals the ball for you in midfield, and they put you in a tight position. They score from maybe a corner. It causes a corner. They score. You need to now go back on how they get to the point where they scored the goal. You need to go back to the midfield and say, okay, how did I lose the ball? Why did I lose the ball? What was my thought process that made it too predictable that this guy could intercept me? You need to go back to those things. If you play 8 hours doing the same thing, you're not going to learn much.
Yeah.
So if you start looking at, okay, what was my thought process? What am I doing wrong? How can I change this? Sometimes if I get stuck, I then go and watch other people's matches. Or people will play my character. I check what does he do against this character. Maybe there's something that I'm not realizing that maybe I can learn from him, because just because I'm the best in SA don't mean that there's nothing I can't learn. You gotta always have room for improvement. So I go and watch other games. Sometimes I even watch other characters. Like, okay, how can this character deal with this one? What makes this character good in this situation? And maybe mine might not be able to replicate this, but there might be something I can take.
Yeah, so it's just like finding those analytic moments in that same 1 hour, 2 hour window that you have. So it's just like, because one thing I've always seen is people are like, oh, but I have 17,000 hours in this game. Why is this guy at this level, at that level?
That means nothing. You're going to have 20,000 hours. If you're doing the same thing over and over, you're not going to learn anything. There comes a guy with only 10 hours and he's able to pinpoint where you went wrong. Because, and when I started back in 2018, I was just checking everybody's games because I knew that I sucked. I knew that I sucked, but I was checking everybody's gameplay especially the top 5 in SA. And then I compared it to the US. I was like, okay, what are they doing? And then I compared it to UK. I'm like, how are they playing? Japan, how are they playing? I'm like, okay, SA lacks here. This is the gap I need to fill. You know.
Okay.
So that's how I went about it, and that's why I don't. You can come to me and say you have more hours than me in Street Fighter. It won't mean anything, because at the end of the day, I've now got more experience in high pressure situations because I willingly put myself in those things to be able to figure out, okay, how do I need to go about this?
Yeah.
You know.
Fantastic. So just to wrap things up, I want to find out what's a piece of advice you'd like to share with students right now that are maybe looking onto you, maybe you want to get into Street Fighter or maybe want to become pro esports players. I mean, something I already picked up as you said, you know, needing to make sure that you have something outside of gaming, but is there anything else that you maybe have in mind?
Well, they'd have to play in tournaments, you know, they shouldn't be afraid of losing. The problem is the newer generation is everybody thinks they're gonna get in, immediately become a sensation. Yeah, and it doesn't work like that, you know, especially there's one genre that it absolutely doesn't work like that is gaming.
Yeah.
Nobody wakes up and then automatically is a sensation, you know, you're going to lose. You know, and you're going to lose a lot of times. You just need to figure out why you're losing and you just need to get back on the horse, you know. If you have that stubbornness to say, okay, I'm gonna keep coming back at this guy, you know, because that's what I was doing. You know, I was losing and I got so frustrated. I don't know how many times I almost broke my controller, you know, because I was so frustrated, like, why am I losing? And then all of a sudden it clicks, oh, you're losing because of this. Okay, I'm coming back to this guy.
Okay, sure.
You know, that's how I went about it. And so it's more of a never give up attitude. You know?
So would you say it's also like maybe setting benchmarks for yourself as well? So you say like, even though I'm losing, I want to maybe get to this height or achieve this.
Yeah, you know, you need to, you have to have goals for yourself, you know. When I started, that's why I was looking at the top 5 because my goal was, okay, by the end of the year, I need to beat these guys, not give them a hard time. I need to beat these guys, you know. I managed to reach that goal. Then I was like, okay, now I need to set my heights higher now. You know, I need to look at the best now in the world, and I need to figure out how to beat them. First time I met them, I got destroyed. You know, it was so heartbreaking because you now told yourself that I know it. I can take them on.
Yeah,
I'm the best in SA.
And then
I got destroyed. But again, you know, it's like, okay, I got destroyed, but I'm still coming back for you guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, because you're over the sea, but I'll figure
out a way.
You know, and that's the attitude that people need to have is just that never give up attitude. Even if there's like no opportunities, but you still need to like, you know, practice for just in case the opportunity comes out.
Yeah.
You know, because that's how I managed to seize the Red Bull one. Because I was practicing and still uplifting myself. And then Red Bull announced an opportunity to fly to Japan. A lot of people already said, we know who's going to win this one.
But of course.
Because already at that time, I still was putting in the work in. Other guys were quitting, now coming back in because Red Bull announced. For them, it was too late because they're like, there's already a guy who's been pushing regardless of whether there was an opportunity or not.
But that's fantastic. Javi, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for today's episode. As you heard it here from the man himself, keep on pushing, don't give up, have that never say never mentality. And by the end of it all, you might be able to see yourself at the top of your title. But before I let you go, Javi, please can you plug yourself to the camera, let people know where they can find you, how they can communicate, all of that.
So I'm a pretty simple person. It's Japi Mabuza on Twitter and on Instagram. That's JABHIMABUZA. And yeah, I mean, if you have a question for me, you can pop me in the DMs. I sometimes take a while to respond because I'm not that person, but I mean, I do respond. If you have a question, pop me a DM.
He's better than me, guys. He actually responds. But Jabi, again, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure once again.
No, thanks for having me.
Fantastic. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on Gameplay. Hope to be seeing you next week where I have a very special celebrity guest that I hope you'll be ready for. But that has been it for Gameplay. I have been Scorer, and again, thank you for joining us. Take care and GG's, gamers.